Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Dianne Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Dianne Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Dianne Kinderwater. I have some numbers for you that are hard to swallow. And why I say swallow? Because we're going to talk about eating today and disorders regarding eating and our health. There are over 37 million Americans who have diabetes right now. That's about 11% of our population. And pre-diabetes, people who don't even maybe know they have diabetes or on the verge of contracting or getting diabetes, 96 million Americans have diabetes. That's 38% of our population. And these numbers, I'm sorry to say, get worse as we age. Folks 65 and over, nearly half of them have diabetes or prediabetes. So what can we do about it? Well, a lot. Number one, you and I, especially I, can put down that chocolate donut, that pizza, maybe the tamales around the holidays, the enchiladas, the Indian fry bread. Can we do that? Well, we know it's hard to do, and especially with the holidays right around the corner. Eating what is bad for us tastes good, but it really isn't good for us. So on the show today, we're going to learn about how we can try to avoid diabetes, and especially what the New Mexico Extension Program is doing with their kitchen creations to help you and I learn how to eat to avoid this very debilitating disease. So please stay with us as we learn how we can eat healthier right here on Issues and Answers. I'll be back right after this.
The National Education Association of New Mexico, a union of teachers and school staff, believes every child deserves to learn at a school that inspires their imagination, cultivates their curiosity, and ensures a fulfilling life. Public schools should provide all our students with small class sizes and one-on-one attention. NEA New Mexico asks you to join us so together we can end the teacher and staff shortage and invest in our public education system once and for all. Sponsored by NEA New Mexico.
We're back on the program discussing what we're having for lunch and dinner. How about you? That's what people tend to do. You know, when I was working at another TV station, I remember arriving there early in the morning, and the first things that people started saying is, where are we going to go to lunch today? So we know that eating is on top of our minds, but healthy eating perhaps isn't. But the New Mexico Ag Extension Program certainly has a number of programs that help us eat healthier. And one specifically is called Kitchen Creations. And I have a participant who has been in this program in the kitchen with Kitchen Creations. And of course, Dianne Christensen. Thank you so much for being a part of our program again, Dianne, who is a New Mexico State University Associate Professor with the Family and Consumer Science agent. Thank you so much, Dianne, for being part of the program again, and really for bringing all this very interesting information for us. And Rosario Fiallos, thank you so much. Mucho gusto.
Encantada.
Encantada for being here. She has been a participant in Kitchen Creations.
Yes.
Also, Rosario has lived here in New Mexico over 4 years, but originally is from Honduras and Central America.
Yes.
So, bienvenidos.
Gracias.
Dianne, tell me a little bit about the program, Kitchen Creations.
Kitchen Creations is just a wonderful opportunity to actually get in the kitchen and cook. It's a little bit different than most educational programs in that way. So we start out in the classroom where we have a registered dietitian that comes and talks about what diabetes is, how you can manage it, and learn to eat healthy. Around that, and then we go into the actual kitchen and we make healthy foods and we sit down and have lunch together. So it's a 4-week series from 9 to 12, and it is really fun. We're super glad to be back in person, and so we offer them
cooking up a storm, aren't you doing that?
Them, 3 times a year, so yeah, so
very
we're
good.
Very active with it.
Rosario, you have taken this class.
Yes.
And why have you taken this class?
Well, diabetes runs in my family, and by the grace of God, I haven't gotten it. And so that kind of opened my eyes, and I needed to do something before I got it.
Well, do something for yourself and for your family.
Yes.
So how did you hear about the program?
Well, I think I was taking the National Program for Diabetes Prevention, and that's how it came about. And just kind of, there were flyers, so I looked at it and I said, this sounds interesting. I didn't know what I was expecting, to find.
But you're very proactive for your health.
I have to. Because of the diabetes. I need to take care of that. My 3 siblings are diabetics. 2 of them are insulin dependent. And I don't want to go through life like that.
Very good that you took this action to take care of yourself and cook for your family. Regarding diabetes, in the literature that you gave me, Dianne, I understand that in Native American families and Hispanic families, there's a much higher incidence of diabetes. I'm not sure genetically why that would be, but we all know we love the Indian fry bread at the New Mexico State Fair and the Balloon Fiesta and all these events, but some of those foods, traditional foods, are not good for our health.
Yes, I think people typically think diabetes, you can't have any sugar, but really what you're looking at is carbohydrates. And so it doesn't mean you can't have them. You absolutely can, and you need them for your brain, your muscles. You just have to limit how many carbohydrates you have.
And the disease, I understand, as much as I understand, diabetes affects your insulin being able to process the sugars in your body.
Yes.
Correct? Not getting too personal, but whatever you can share, Rosario, regarding family members or people you know, if they are diabetic, you said you don't want to get the disease. And I had an uncle, great uncle, who had it, and I know what happened to him.
Yeah.
Problems with circulation in the feet. My great uncle had to have his, I think, feet amputated because of the circulation problem. And what can you tell us?
Well, my family hasn't gotten to that point because of my mother had it. And so they were very proactive in finding it. Unfortunately, they developed the diabetes. But I had several friends that since the last time I saw them had passed away because of the diabetes. There was one of my college friends that had it, and she really didn't take that much care of what she ate and exercise, and she ended up losing both her legs to amputation, and shortly after, she passed away. Seeing her in that, I mean, it was like a shock to me, and I said, this is it. I had to stop and be more aware of what I put in my mouth.
We're going to talk about the course. We're going to talk about how to sign up for the course. Since you've taken the course, have you changed your eating style?
Yes. I'm more aware of the things that and I don't deprive myself of anything. Except with moderation. Instead of eating the full bar of candy, I just eat a little piece. And what I do is I just put it in the freezer. That helps. And but I try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, lean meats, seafood, and limit the carbs. I was just, I try to, with the bread, the white rice, which I love, and some of the, the potatoes. So instead of getting the big potato full of things, I get the small one, and you find different ways, and that's one of the things that Kitchen Creation has helped me. Instead of putting all the cream and this, the butter and this and that and the, the potatoes, I put salsa, and it tastes great. So that's the little changes that you can make, and Kitchen Creation is fantastic. It teaches you to do that.
Yes?
Yes.
We're going to come back to you and remember some of the other little tips that they gave you, okay?
Sure will.
And I understand the program is very popular. Yes. You offer it 3 times a year, but you can only take it once every 3 years. Why is that, Dianne?
I think it's just so that more and more people can have exposure, yeah. But it is free of charge, and so there's a lot of great incentives that you get each week that you come, and so it's a lot of good resources with the class.
And we could go, and you're thinking about your other tips, right, Rosario? So Dianne, the dates are mainly in October, and this show is airing in
Yes.
August, September, October.
Okay.
So there's a chance they can sign up for this October. If not, they can wait, and next year there'll be three other opportunities.
Yeah, and they can always go to our website, bernalilloextension.nmsu.edu, and see the schedule. But typically we offer them in October, February, and April. Mm-hmm. Are the kind of the series.
And it's 4-week sessions.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you prepare lunch or meal after each session, or at the
Yes.
very end? Oh, after each?
After each session, yes.
Okay, let's talk about those.
Yeah. So the first class that we do, well, the first one we do is very simple because it's the beginning and there's a little more education on that one. But the second one goes along with the blue cookbook that they get the second time, and that is traditional New Mexican recipes that are made healthier. And I love all of the recipes in this book, are delicious. And so that one we make some of the traditional New Mexican foods. The next class, we focus on fish because that's not very, a lot of New Mexicans aren't as familiar with fish. And the last one, we do a beef stir fry, and cook a lot of vegetables in healthy ways that are delicious. So that's a real key for people. If you want to know one thing you can do, just eat more vegetables. That's a really good place to start if you're wanting to eat healthier.
And cooking, I understand now, more in virgin oil than butter? Virgin olive oil?
Yes, olive oil is, there's many healthy oils. How you can tell is anything that's liquid at room temperature is a healthy oil. So canola oil, safflower oil, olive oil. Some oils have a higher heat tolerance, so if you're going to be cooking, avocado oil is a good for sautéing and that type of thing. It does better with frying.
And better than butter.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, yes. Oh.
Unfortunately.
Rosario, what other changes have you made since you've taken these classes?
Instead of frying, I do either grilling or baking. And I found that it doesn't change the taste. Mm-hmm. Using spices, that helps.
Spices instead of the butter.
Right, yeah. And now there is a great variety of spices that we didn't have, 25 years ago, that you can use. And it add really taste about the foods that you're cooking. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, with boiling is another way of doing certain, like vegetables, sweet potatoes, that's better than regular potatoes.
Are they? Mm-hmm. Sweet potatoes, fewer carbs, I think?
Not quite fewer carbs.
But maybe more nutrients?
But yes, it's more nutritional. And they had the amount of vitamins and minerals that they have is much greater than the white. The other thing is, salads, soups is another way of doing it. When I cook, make soups, I put even the kitchen secrets in there because I put all the vegetables. And anything that I have, one of the things about kitchen creation is you don't have to buy any more stuff than what you have. Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the things that we learn in the class. Use what you have in your pantry and adapt it to, what you're doing.
What does your family think about the changes?
Well, my family is still in Honduras. So one of the things that I do is every time I take a class and go visit, oh, okay, I got this book, I got a copy for you. Or, it's just, I was learning, in that class that, so without pushing the stuff, I'm not wanting to, shove it down their throat, because I know they're going to say, eh. But I try to just kind of give the hint, or this is the way that I cook it over there, or this is the changes that I have done. And some of them have accepted it, and some have gone, but that's okay.
Because they haven't seen maybe the diabetes like you saw with your friend.
Oh, yeah. One of my younger sisters saw it. And she realized when she saw me, she picked me up after visiting my friend. I think that she saw it in my face, And she said, you saw it? I said, yeah, I did. And it was kind of, so she's aware of that. And some of the, the friends and they talk about it. It used to be that you had diabetes and, you didn't talk much about it. And now is more in the open, where people can access information, more resources, and talk about it, because that builds a support group. And you need that.
And do you tell your friends about the class?
Oh, yeah. Every time, they said, oh, okay, there you go. I love taking classes. There is something that every time I take it, I learn something new. And so, it's just one of the questions sometimes I get to say, what class are you taking? I said, oh, this class, and we did that. And so I explained to them. And so I said, wow, I said, that's pretty good, because they don't have it over there. So that's one of the things that's my contribution.
Yeah, it's actually amazing, Dianne, and Dianne Christensen has been on our program to share, and I've looked online at the number of classes that Extension, and our tax dollars pay for this.
Yes, they do.
So we should be taking advantage, and people are, like Rosario, are taking advantage.
Yes.
Now I saw some interesting classes coming up this around the holiday season.
Yes.
And I say the holidays are here. Once the 4th of July is over, we're into the holidays, right?
That's right.
It's true.
Yep.
We've got the State Fair, Balloon Fiesta, Thanksgiving, Christmas, but we have, I think, classes on preparing in a healthier way. Enchiladas, one class, and tamales. I think one's in November, one's in December.
Yeah, actually, the first class in November is pasoli.
Oh,
so
pasoli.
we're going to have all different kinds of pasolis, and then the one in December is tamales, and made in healthier ways.
Have you taken those classes, Rosario?
No, that's a new one. So I already registered.
I think I might
The
too.
minute the flyer comes in, and I go check them, and I register for that to make sure
Those
that
are, what, $10, I think.
Yes,
Oh.
that's just to pay for the food. But Rosario mentioned you can get on our email list, and we don't email you to death, but we just send out all of our classes 4 times a year. So if you do want to just get an email with all of the classes, you can just call our office and get on that listserv, and we're happy to send that to you.
But taking this class, it's sponsored by, who is it sponsored by, this class?
The New Mexico Department of Health and New Mexico State University.
Both of them sponsor
provide
it.
funding for this. That's why it's free.
And you receive this New Mexico recipe book that you showed us?
Yes,
Also, what's the difference? You have this as well.
This is the participant workbook, and so it's really nice. It's got a lot of good information that you can go back and review. And so this is what you get the first week, and then each week you come, you get a different incentive. So, yeah. And
In
so
addition to that?
yes, you get these, and then the third week you get this 4-ingredient cookbook from the American Diabetes Association, which is really nice because it just has great recipes, and it's just 4 ingredients. So nothing that we make is super complicated. It's all very easy, very doable.
What can you share, and thank you, Rosario, for sharing your thoughts. What other tips can you give the viewers about how to cook a little healthier with things that you already have in your pantry?
Yes.
And I like the idea of freezing. I do freeze things, but then I take them out. But I'll think of you. I do freeze the bad things, but then I unfreeze them. But every time I'm gonna think of Rosario that you just take a little bit out. Okay, no, thank you for that, and I'm sincere, Rosario. I mean that. I have a sweet tooth, and it's all in the freezer.
Yeah.
But I'll take out a little in your honor.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. What else can you share?
The first thing is the first are afraid, and so there's a tendency to stick our head in the ground, and I don't want to know I've got it. But if you find out that you're on the verge of perhaps, it's called being pre-diabetic, there's so much you can do. And so it's really better to face it, because just through what you eat and being a bit more active, you can totally reverse it. My husband was pre-diabetic, and he just stopped drinking Coke and sodas, and he was able to bring it back down. But it's been such a blessing that he knows, because he watches it now. And so there's just so many things you can do just to modify without, as Rosario said, without deprivation. It's not like a diet. It's just finding a healthier eating pattern that you enjoy and that's delicious for you.
And I understand, though, once there's a type 1 and a type 2. One, I think you're born with. 2, you develop it. That might be the onset as you mature, get older.
Yes.
As I said, 65, people 65 and older, I think nearly half the people have. Is it prediabetes or diabetes? I think
either one of them. So many people are pre-diabetic and don't realize it, and so you can find out by just asking your doctor to do a simple test called an A1C, and the results of that will kind of show you what range you're in. And so, and even if you are diabetic or a person with diabetes, if you manage it, your health outcomes will be excellent. The key is managing it. That's so important. You really can avoid some of the really devastating consequences that we've been talking about simply by managing it. So that's the good news.
And that's by exercising more and
making healthier choices.
And the food choices. But I understood, maybe Rosario or Dianne, that once you have diabetes, you can't reverse it.
That's correct. Yeah, you can manage it, but you really want to really try not to avoid that, crossing that line, because once you're diagnosed, you don't go back. But the good news is you can manage it. And so if you manage it well, you live a healthy life. You mentioned
3 of your siblings have diabetes?
Correct.
2 are insulin dependent. What does that mean?
Basically is that they have, they keep checking their glucose level. So they have to prick their fingers, and if there is a certain level that they reach, then they have to get insulin injections that they administer themselves. My younger sister has done with diet and exercise and medication, not insulin, but some sort of medication. She has been able to control it and keep it in the, not quite in the pre-diabetic range, but really low, close to that. So that's a blessing.
What have you learned from the other participants, thanks for Rosario, who've come to the classes, Dianne, about the disease and why they're taking it?
Well, they just come away so hopeful because they see it doesn't take that much to manage it. And the more education you get around it, you really can understand how to manage it well. A lot of times, you get it, in your 5 minutes with the doctor, you get a diagnosis, but you don't, what does this mean? And so it's really important to take some of these classes so that you can educate yourself. That takes a lot of the fear away. It's just when you are in control of it, then you can manage it and you don't live in a fearful state.
How long has the Extension Service been providing classes? I know cooking and agriculture and all kinds of quality of life things you present through your classes, but how long have you been presenting this diabetes class? And I know here in New Mexico we have a high incidence of diabetes because of our population.
Kitchen Creations has been around, 15 to 20 years. It's been a very long class. We're just finishing up a curriculum revision, which has been fun to be part of, and Kitchen Creations has also won a national award as well. So it's unique because we actually get in and do hands-on cooking, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
Anything else you want to share from those books?
Oh, just so many good recipes. There's one that we make in the class. It's a chili relleno casserole, and that's one of our favorites. But it's like a chili relleno, and it's easier for one thing, and it's very tasty. And so there's just a lot of just easy and fun recipes. The other thing that's fun about the extension classes is you meet so many fun people. I was just thinking we have so many lovely participants, and it's fun to kind of bring yourself into a new community involvement, and you meet a lot of really interesting and nice people that way, like Rosario here.
And thank you for taking the time to be on this program today. Really, Rosario, thank you for that. It's a good community to be a part of with Extension. I mean, if you look online, again, they should look online, and there's a way to sign up for the emails online?
Yes, they can.
didn't see that.
They'll see when they go online, you can, at our website, how to contact us. Our phone number is 505-243-1386. You're welcome to call. Or again, Bernalillo extension.nmsu.edu.
Regarding fish, you have a whole session, a whole class on fish. Are you eating more fish now, Rosario?
Yeah. Well, I have always liked fish, so it wasn't a hardship for me to switch. The red meat is once in a while when I get a craving for that, but I think that in the last year I've had it once, and I don't miss it.
But the fish,
Oh, yeah.
you
Fish
eat that
and
more
seafood.
regularly. You do.
Yeah.
Any quick tip that they gave you that you didn't know about before you took the class regarding fish?
You know, just use the spices and broil it. That does, and your kitchen doesn't stink when you're doing that. Because when you fry fish, you can smell it all over the house. But broiling it it's much easier.
What are those fry cookers? What do they call air fryers?
I was going to say
Yeah.
that's an amazing.
Is it?
Yes. People
I have
love
one. I don't know how
fish.
to use it. I bought it last Christmas.
It really makes your fish really crispy, but it's actually not fried. You just dip it, your fish in a beat up egg, and then press panko crumbs to it, and put it in the air fryer, and it comes out really crisp. So
Do
it's
you
a
use an
delicious
air fryer?
way.
I finally got over the scare of using it. So,
I think I still have
well,
this.
in one of the classes that I took, that it was offered, that's one of the things that we learned how to use an air fryer. So
I'm gonna sign up for that.
Yeah, so that was really good. Now I know how to use it without burning my kitchen down.
And a friend of mine has one. She says she uses for everything. And I have one, and I'm afraid. So I'm going to check on that class. There's a lot of classes coming up. So take a look at the extension. And thank you, Dianne Christensen, for being a part of
my
this.
pleasure.
And Rosario Fiallos, thank you so much for being a part of this program today. And all you're
My
doing
pleasure.
is spread the good word about how to eat healthier. And Dianne comes on here, and she spread the word. I think of you every time I don't put that donut down. So Dianne does. I'm going to now say Rosario does. So I've got to too. So again, it takes a while. It's a
Yes,
route.
it's a time,
It's
yes.
a time to change our styles. But thanks to you for being here. I'll report next time if I have done that. Without guilt. Just do it. Thanks for watching. I'm Dianne. Make it a great week with your family. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house. Being part-time really helped because I could have some opportunities that were still in education.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Issues and Answers with your host Dianne Kinnewater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.